If you've been rejected or if you've gone through a breakup right now, then this video is for you. Whether you want to get your ex back, whether you want to just get over your ex, or whether you want to understand why you're hurting so much right now, I have the answers for you. And to prove I've got those answers for you, I'm going to do something that I've never seen any other coach or expert do. I'm going to publish videos of my own breakup, and I'm going to go on this journey with you. I'll see you right after this. Okay, so we're here. This is a video I genuinely wasn't sure if I'd ever film because it's very personal and it takes you on the journey with me. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to handle your breakup, exactly what you need to do now as you're experiencing and as you're going through this pain that I know I've felt personally. And whether you want to get your ex back or whether you want to just get over your ex and put this whole pain behind you, I'm going to show you how to do both of those things. The first step I'm going to talk about is what to do right now. You're in the midst of it, you're in the storm of it. What do you do right now to handle this situation that's right in front of you? The second step is what was broken. You and I are going to break down what went wrong so that you can pull the pieces together and figure out how to prevent this ever happening to you again. And number three is recovery. I'm going to show you either how to get your ex back or how to finally get closure and get over your ex. We're going to do all of this. I'm going to show you how to do all of these things, and I'm going to do it in a very special way. I'm going to take videos from my own breakup, filmed as little as 6 minutes after my own heart was broken, that show you not only do us guys go through this as well, but that you are not alone in this journey. If you want, there's also going to be a course you can join. It's called Your Last Breakup. And the goal is to get you through the pain, to either get your ex back or get over your ex, and to make sure this, what you're going through right now, is the last breakup of your life. Check it out. If you want to join me on that, the link is in the description. So my breakup story begins in 2017. A friend of a friend slid sneakily into my DMs. I checked her out, I thought she was cute, and I said, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna get to know this girl. Gave her a call, and between you and me, on the call, I actually thought she was pretty boring. So I thought, you know what, I'll go on a date with her, but I'm not holding my breath. I'm gonna have to set an exciting date location because if she's boring, I still wanna have fun. Turns out though, my fears were unfounded. It had all the things a first date should. We had a blast together, we got to eat food, we got to explore a university, and we got stuck in a ping pong table area and had to jump a 12-foot fence. Everything a first date that should have. So things went well and kicked off to a good start. Fast forward 6 months. It is not the longest relationship I've had by any stretch, but it certainly feels like one of the healthiest. Boundaries are good, mutual respect, we're both on our paths in life. I'm getting ready to introduce her to parents. I'm thinking, this is feeling really good. I'm really excited for this. We went away on a trip to Melbourne and had a great time together. I was a little grumpy because I was on a weird diet, but otherwise, trip was fantastic. Things are on a good path. So we come back from this trip from Melbourne, and I noticed she's a little bit quiet, a little bit standoffish throughout the week, and we didn't actually get to catch up that week because our schedules didn't quite match up. That wasn't that uncommon for us, so we said we'd see each other on the weekend. So weekend comes around and I get invited to be on a panel show where I'm discussing dating relationships as part of an expert panel. I'm thinking, this is exciting. She's working Saturday. So on Saturday I say, in fact on Sunday morning it was, I invited her and I said, hey, I'm on the panel today, really want to see you. I know you're not doing anything, come join the studio audience. I'm thinking, this is great, she can come watch me in my element. She says she'd rather chill at home. Something was off. That wasn't like her. I knew she had the free time and so my stomach didn't feel good. That sinking feeling in your stomach. And I said, oh, hey, is everything okay? And she said, look, we'll talk about it later. Stomach drops further. I said to her, hey, can we just chat now so I'm not anxious throughout the day? She said, no, this is something that it's really better if we talk about later. Stomach drops, right? I'm going, what's going on? Feeling anxious. And I'm sure you know this feeling when you know something's wrong, but you still got to get through your day. So I'm on a dating relationships panel show, trying to keep the good energy up, while fearing in the background that my own relationship is collapsing. I get home that day, tell her to come around, spend hours pacing around the house, hoping that she'll come. And she does. Well, it felt like hours, it wasn't even that long. She comes around and we go downstairs and she says, Mark, this isn't working for me. You know when someone says that and you're not expecting it. And a week earlier, things were fine. And I had no idea why. What's going on? We'll call her Kate. What's going on, Kate? Why are you doing this? And she gave me superficial reasons like our schedule's not matching or me doing more performances, and none of it made sense. I didn't know what was going on. And I put it all on the line, you know, through tears. I just said, look, please don't do this. I think you're making a big mistake here. I really think we're really healthy. I don't know what's going on for you, but please don't do this. I think this is a mistake. Whatever it is, we can work through it. She said she'd think about it. 3 days later, after not hearing from her, I get a phone call. That phone call lasted less than a minute. She wanted to go through with her decision. She wanted to break up. This video was taken 6 minutes after that phone call. So, I don't know if I'll ever post this footage, but the healthiest relationship I think I've ever been in ended about 20 minutes ago. Did not see it coming. Sunday before last, things are great. Long story short, she comes around Sunday night and breaks up for reasons that, to be honest, didn't seem very legit to me. She started crying and then kissed me and said I'm gonna take some time to think. 3 days later, she took her time to think. And I said, look, just text me if we're not going ahead. I only want you to call if you want to work on things. She insists on calling. Doesn't want to work on things. So obviously I'm pretty aware of what I should be doing, and I can already notice the first emotion coming up, which is anger. So the first thing I'm trying to work through is how I can be empowered from this. And I know those answers won't come yet, and I just need to probably sit with the anger for a little bit. Didn't say anything bad to her on the last call. When she called me up, I literally just said all the best. I'm gonna miss you. So for me now, I just want to really process, let myself cry, let myself do whatever I need to. And though I'm very obviously grateful for the relationship, you can't help but have that bit of anger there. So I'm looking forward to that turning into forgiveness and then true empowering gratitude as part of the mourning process. And I know I won't be able to see her until it does. Okay, so let's get into the steps for you. Now, I'm at the same place where you probably are in the journey. So step one, what to do now? What do you do right now to handle your breakup and get on this path to either getting over your ex or getting him back? The first thing to do is clean up the ending. Okay, so you want to get your things is the big piece of this. If your things are still at his house, or if there's still connections, things connecting you, obviously other than major things like kids or work, but if there's still pieces of your things, whatever it is that's connecting you, you want to clean up that ending. In other words, get your stuff. I know you really don't want to do this because it probably feels like that's the last connection you have to him and that he's going to forget you if you take your stuff out of his house. But this is very important to do because he can't actually start missing you until he's properly lost you, okay? Get your things. Space is your best friend right now. You want to be getting your things and you want to be creating that space so that he can start to have the opportunity to realize the consequences of his actions and of the breakup. Now, if this means having a last conversation with him, do it. Don't have a last date, don't have a last great experience together, but last impressions make a massive difference to breakups. Massive, massive difference. So if you do have the opportunity, if you're getting your things, you need to clean up the ending, have a last conversation. Make it vulnerable, make it real, make it authentic. Most of all, make sure your actions are leading the way. So you're allowed to cry, you're allowed to be sad, you absolutely speak your truth. One of the things I was most proudest of in my own breakup was the fact that when she said she was breaking up with me, I just put it all on the line. right? I just said, please don't do this. I think you're making a mistake. I think we're good together. Not from a needy, clingy way, from an empowered, I think this is a mistake way. So make your last impression memorable. Again, it doesn't mean you can't show sadness. In fact, it might well mean that you absolutely do, but it doesn't mean that you're going to choose someone if he's not choosing you. Once you've cleaned up the ending, the next thing you want to do is start no contact. So limited contact just means that you don't initiate any texts and that you just respond politely if he texts you, but that you end the conversation, you end the text threads. If limited contact gets taken advantage of, you've got to turn it into no contact. The other reason you might need to use limited contact is because you might have kids or you might have work together where you need to have a tiny bit of professional communication, but you want to be really good at shutting down any personal communication. So start that no contact, limited contact. Once you've got your things, give that space. And the third part of what to do now, and this sucks, this is really, really hard. You've cleaned up the ending, you've gone no contact, process your emotions. Just let it wash over you, right? Just feel whatever you need to feel. I remember in my breakup, I just often need to go to my room and just cry for a little bit at a time, and then I'd be fine for a while, cry again. You've just got to let it wash over you. It's funny, like the guy part of my brain that doesn't want to process the emotions right now, just wants to distract, just like call an old girl or something. I don't know how unhealthy that is. And so I know I've just got to let emotions process. It's funny, I think this is actually going to be my journey. I felt like I was in such an emotionally available space for this woman, just really in a good place. She was so good, ready to take things further. And now the thought of dating someone new is just, nah. Don't distract with other guys, don't overfunction, going back to him, texting him, don't go forwards towards the ex-boyfriend, don't go backwards away to someone else, just stay right in the midst of the storm and experience it. I know if I've done it, you can do it too. So it's a few hours later now. The only treat I've had here is lactose-free milk. So I've been gorging on lactose-free milk to make myself feel better. But one thing you're probably wondering is like, do I have those urges to text her? I've noticed I really don't. You know, it took 3 days for her to get clear on this decision. And already by the end of the second day, I was like, look, your indecision is your decision. That whole solid foundation we built, it kind of lose respect for it when someone does this out of nowhere, right? And if they're that indecisive about wanting it back, then clearly they're not that sold on you, are they? And it was me that didn't think much of it at the start. But I thought up until a week ago we were on the same page. Apparently not. You know how so many men, after they want that comfort after a breakup, I'm really feeling that. And it's funny because it's not about sex, and I talk all the time about how guys want the love, the loyalty, the companionship, the support. And when I catch myself in a fantasy wanting to be with a different woman, it's not for the sex. That's fine, whatever happens. But what I'm really focused on is like having someone there and the companionship. And it's so interesting seeing the things that I teach play out in myself. Step number 2 is what went wrong. And this is where you want to pull apart the pieces and figure out what was broken so that you never end up in this situation or in a broken relationship like that again. In the recovery phase, if you're going to get back with your ex, it's so important that you know exactly what you are and aren't willing to accept and exactly what was and wasn't broken so that you can get back your relationship or get a new relationship that's healthy. So you want to be answering questions like, what were the incompatibilities? What key incompatibilities did we have that broke us up? What relationship skills did I not have or was I not able to possess? And am I willing to do the work to get those? What relationship skills did he not or did he not possess? And is he willing to do the work to get those? And what do I need to qualify my next relationship on? As in what new standards do I need to set, whether it's with the same guy or a different guy, to make sure that my relationship doesn't just repeat It's not just a Groundhog Day. What are going to be the key standards moving forward? I'd recommend you pause the video now and answer these questions. If you don't want to pause the video now, then join me in the breakup course. We're going to do a deep, deep dive into these questions so you make sure you never experience this pain again and never have that broken relationship repeat. So it's been about 2 weeks now. 5 years ago, it would have been, all right, I need to go sleep with someone else to make myself feel better. 2 years ago, I would have controlled that urge, but it still would have been, all right, I'm going to jump on Tinder, or I'm going to message some people on Instagram and just flirt and get some attention. Whereas this time around, it's been nothing. Yeah, it's kind of funny how I'm like, no, I don't really need any external validation right now. And it's been a surprisingly good breakup recovery. I don't know, it's 2 weeks. If she was to come back now, I think I'd still be open to it. I feel like my heart is still open, but I'm starting to feel very okay on my own and like she made a big mistake. That confidence is coming back. And I think a couple of years down the line, she's honestly probably going to regret it. And step 3 is recovery. So in recovery, it's about getting over him, getting that closure, or getting him back. If you're wanting to get over your ex and get closure, there's a few things to do. The first is extrapolate out the broken points in the relationship that you found. When you sit there, you're going to naturally miss your ex and you're going to naturally think back to the good times. And this is why doing the what was broken step is so important. Because by understanding what was broken, you can extrapolate that forward, say 5 years in the future, and see what a damn clusterfuck it would have been if you'd actually stayed together. That's a very powerful thing that helps clients get over their exes. The second thing you've got to do is take the stories, the narratives you're telling yourself off the top. So stories and narratives that we add on are a little bit like walking into a fire carrying a barrel of oil. Right, the breakup itself is going to hurt whether you like it or not, but the stuff that you are carrying can make it so much worse. So we often tell ourselves stories like, he was the perfect one, that was the best connection I'll ever have, I'll never find someone like that again. And we also tell ourselves stories about ourselves, which is, why wasn't I enough? The fact that he's not talking to me means that I meant nothing to him. The fact that he's found someone else now shows how little I was worth to him. We tell ourselves these stories which just torture us after a breakup, and I found myself doing the same thing. So one of the first things I did 2 days after my breakup was I booked in with my coach. That helped me take all the stories that I was telling myself off so that I could just worry about the natural pain of the breakup. And finally, if you're wanting to get over an ex, the other thing to do is closure. So there's a great video on closure that I filmed. I'll put the link up here in the description. There's some really powerful closure exercises in that video. And of course, there's even more advanced stuff. If you want to join me and make sure you get over your ex, you and I will dive deep into this in the breakup course. You can hit the link.
Been going really well for a couple of months, not really put much thought to her. And then through a random event on social media, we had a brief interaction. And then it just hit me. I was like, ever since the breakup, me, Mark Rosenfeld, the dude that's supposedly got it all together, was putting this person on a pedestal. It feels so simple now. It's really sunk in that I simply put that time, that focus, that attention into people who do deserve the pedestal, which is people who also pedestal me back, i.e. there's no pedestal. And I've gone from a really down moment to feeling $1 million again. Incredible the way a simple mindset shifts everything.
Now, if you want to get your ex back, it's actually a similar process. So again, you want to extrapolate out the broken pieces 5 years in the future to make sure you don't go back to the same relationship, because that was broken and there's no point you going back to it as good as it did feel at times. Again, taking the stories off is important for you. You've got to take the narratives about your own self. And one of the big ironies of getting back with your ex versus getting over your ex is it's pretty much the same thing. You have to energetically disconnect from the addictive and unhealthy part of it so that you can step back and assess a new relationship with that ex with a new set of standards. The only difference is you don't do the closure piece. Instead of doing that, you reach out to your ex, and with a clear knowledge of what was broken and what it needs to be fixed or what it needs to be different the second time around, you'll be able to chat to your ex and see if he's willing and wanting to build that and to work on those things with you. So a simple text, a simple reach out at the 1 to 3 months after no contact is your best bet. And if he's not very responsive, if he's not excited to do the work or wanting at the very least to do the work to make the new relationship successful, then that's not going to be your person. As for my story, well, there was a twist in the tale. So I thought that would be that. I didn't think I'd finish the video there. It's 6 months now since, and guess who I just got a message from? The message was, hey, been thinking about you. Be nice to catch up if you're interested. I'm at the point now where I'm past it. So I hope she hasn't had a late change of mind and that this is just a friends thing. But I'm excited to catch up with her as friends now. So I don't think it'll happen the next week or so, but let's see how this goes. There's something so healing. I don't know what it is, but there's something so healing about going back to see an ex and seeing all the growth and seeing how much they've done for you once you're past that pain. It's just, I'm in such a state of gratitude right now. I feel like I could like almost cry. I'm really excited to see her. So I'm home. Tonight played out the way I feared it would. After expressing that she missed me a lot, she said she had something to tell me. And I said, before you do, I should probably say something first. And I said, I've started seeing someone, which I have, which is true. I've been seeing someone amazing. I think it's going to last a long time. And hopefully as a posting of this video, it's still a thing. And when I said that, she said, her body language changed. And then she said, I don't think I can say the thing that I was going to say then. I said, why didn't you reach out sooner? And she said, I thought you didn't want me to. You know, I put my heart on the line and hopefully showed it to the best of my ability initially when we broke up that was what I wanted. And she didn't do that. She thought I wanted space when she did the breaking up. And all she had to do was reach out. If it had been 3 months ago, this would have been a totally different outcome. I think she'll be kicking herself for a while for not reaching out sooner when she's had these feelings the whole time. So she did come back, but unfortunately it was too late. And I'm happy to say I'm still with my current partner who has been a true blessing to my life. Timing really is everything. I hope it gives you some clarity that we go through this too, us guys. Even though we very rarely show you, it's a thing. So make sure you take care of yourself during this time. And if you do want to work deep with me on this and make sure this is your last breakup, the last time you go through this, the program Your Last Breakup is available. You can check it out, link in description. Thanks again for watching. Hit the subscribe button with the little bell. Take really good care of yourself during this time, and I'll see you in the next video real soon.